everyone, this is Final Prophecy Watch. This is a quick video
about Revelation 21:1. What we're looking at is the theory that the oceans are going to dry up and all the spiritual reasons why that happens. Now, there's also a lot of real truth to the Bible. Sure, it happens on 7 levels. Right. There's spiritual reasons, but there's also very physical reasons. The scriptures are absolutely true. The scriptures, the Old and New Testament, are the inerrant Word of God. So we're going to look at that basic level of where it's actually going to happen on earth right now, because the end times are here, tribulation is here, and it's going to be speeding up because the birth pangs are getting closer and closer and more frequent. And the new world that is to come, that we're going to be born into, because death is just a birth canal to the next world, is shortly here. We're all going to go together because we're all one anyway. From the Jubilee Bible 2000, from Bible's Hub. Put a link to this in the description box below. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. How could that actually happen? The way it happens is this. When the oceans freeze, so they say, oh, an asteroid could hit the Earth, there could be a nuclear winter, and then everything would freeze. And then as the ocean freezes, then you can have no more ocean, per se, and walk across the frozen ocean in order to get from continent to continent. They say that's the way the American Indians got from one place to another. With, Eskimos up in Alaska, when it was frozen, that's how they walked across from one place to another, from probably over in the Russian and Mongolian area and China and all that, and they came across. Yeah. So that's the way it was said to have been done anyway. And some people say the Vikings were here first. But anyway. The Vikings are just, it's a suggestion of 6 Hyksos, I believe, Hyksos, and the V1, it has to do with certain tribes of Israel. And a lot of people think that actually the Vikings were here first. But anyway, again, Jubilee Bible 2000, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. So this already happened anyway. This already happened. And it's simply going to happen again because things repeat themselves over and over. Another way that it could happen, it doesn't require nuclear war and doesn't require asteroids hitting the Earth or aliens utilizing terraforming for their pleasure. Another way it could be done is when Yellowstone blows. There's a lot of theory that Yellowstone could blow very soon. And that would, if it was a big enough eruption, it could obviously cause all kinds of floods of the western United States and also, Japan and the East Coast of the continents over there. So really, that could cause freezing, earthquakes, freezing, if enough ash is put into the air, and if it becomes cold enough. So these things are extremely possible. They've happened before, they'll happen again, and that doesn't mean to explain away their spirituality. And again, all these things happen through suggestion. The suggestion of words and a suggestion, not just of words, but of pictures and what we see. I mean, you can't get away from it. You walk outside and the earth is going to make suggestions, the skies, you know, it's all one big dream that we're all having together. Now, some people say, okay, when one dies, your nitrogen goes back to nitrogen, and you know, eventually everything goes back to its source. But it hasn't been changed by you, however large or small you've changed it. Just like when you eat a meal, you change it, do you not? When you make a baby, you change it. You change the seed that was given you. Whatever you do, whatever you receive, the way it comes out, when you breathe in, you change the air that comes out of you to your own special way. Your blood changes. Everything changes. You change it. Your body is a temple that changes things. So, that happens spiritually as well. And spiritually, say you have your Mars in, say you have it in Sagittarius. So you have your Mars in Sagittarius. Well, you know, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is Chesed. And if your Mars is the way you do battle, your very specific astrology is your specific genetics, spiritual genetics, and the way you handle it changes when you die, and your spirit goes back. Eventually, it takes longer for the soul and all that to go back to its original source, but the spirit gets changed. In other words, you change God, because what you do changes God, because you've lived your life and made your choices and had your consciousness and your understanding and your efforts towards what. The only place we can change anything is through, according to the Zohar, is through what we allow ourselves to read and the people we hang around with. So if you choose a more spiritual environment and more spiritual books, then you've changed that for the better, made it more spiritual, more high-minded, better, and that can then go back to the source more purified and better, washed clean by the things you've suffered, by allowing the ego to suffer rather than anything else. So by allowing the blood of the Lamb to wash you in light, wash you in the blood and wash you in the light, and also simply the way of the cross, considered a simple way. You can go the way of reincarnation, often, shown by the Mother Mary statue, or you can go in the way of the cross, where you don't really reincarnate, but you go to heaven. And reincarnation can be any state of being. But anyway, you understand that we change everything by what we do, because we're all connected. Everything in the universe is connected. That's why every single person is specifically important. What you do matters. Therefore, we change God by our lives. Because it's not, there's all these names for all these different thought processes. That's the theory we have today. And I saw heaven and a new earth, and the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there was no more sea. Jubilee 2000, that's Revelation 21:1. Stay frosty.
Okay, thank you for watching. This is Final Prophecy Watch. Take care.
It's getting kind of weird out there.